Once you've downloaded and installed your fonts, you're ready to use type in InDesign, which is what we're going to talk about in this video. So the way that we get type is first by finding the type tool. It's right here, it's the letter T. What you want to do is click that. I want to go on to the text layer, and it's selected. And now I'm going to just drag out a rectangle. Okay, and I'm going to type a sentence. And I want you to notice that when we put type in InDesign, it uses the default Minion Pro, unless you change the font. So the way that you would change the font is you'd go to Properties, the Properties panel, and you find Character. Here, this is where we change the font. So we need to highlight the type, and then you can either click the down arrow and look for your font over here, or you can do something that's a little easier. If you know what your font is called, you can just type it in. I'm going to use Gotham, and you can choose any of these weights. I'm going to just use the book one because I like that. And now we've just changed the font. If we want to change the size of the font, we do that over here. If we want to change the tracking is the space in between letters. So let's say I want to make these letters go have more space in between. I could track them out over here. So do you see how they're spreading apart? Right? We can put it back to 0. Let's say we want more space in between the lines. We can change the leading. The leading is the space in between the lines. That's right here. It's called leading because back in the day when they had a letterpress, they used to put blocks of lead in between letters, and they had if you wanted to make more space in between the letters, in between the lines, you would add another brick of lead. Anyway, we can change the amount of space in between the lines. We can put this back to auto. We can also change the size of the box, right? And that will impact it. It's important to know that the text has to fit inside the box. So let's say the box is too small. So then you'll get this little plus sign, and that shows up as an error on the bottom right here. And if we have this, then what we need to do is make sure that the box is big enough for the words inside it. So if you have this, you can double click one of the corners, and it should snap the box to be the right size, or you can just drag the box to be bigger. Okay, other things with text. We can change the color of the text. Let's say we want to change the color of rain. We can change the color by going here in Properties, over here to the T. We can also change the color of the T by going there. I'm going to stick in Properties. Okay, so let's use that. So I can see clearly now the rain has gone. There we go. We can also change the orientation of the box with the letters, with the type in it. Right now I'm hitting Shift, and when you hit Shift, it lets you just change it in 45-degree increments, which means that we'll make sure to get it to be straight. Going to change it back. Let's say we want it to be tilted. Okay. Another thing we can do with text is we're not limited to just these boxes. We can also have type on a line. So right now I'm just dragging out a line. Okay, it's just a regular black line. And now if you click on the T and hover on it, you can get this flyout, and it lets you type on a path. Okay, so this line is selected, and I'm going to click on it. And now I can type on this path. Type on this path. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Okay, so now this type is on this path. What if I want the path to be a little bit more interesting? So this is a little bit like using InDesign. Here's our pen tool, right now, if you click on these points, so you'd click away and then the points become white, these white squares, and that's how you know you can edit them now. So we're just going to click on that. Right now I accidentally just clicked on the type, so you want to be careful when you're selecting this. So you hover until you can see a white point, and you select it. There are no anchor points, but if we use the convert anchor, the convert direction point, which is the same as the convert anchor point tool, which is found with the pen tool, like in Illustrator, we can add points to this. It's not working. Let's go to this. What I just did was added a point, and now I'm going to convert that and get some handles. And now that we have these handles, we can make the path more interesting. I just added another point. And now I'm going to move this point, right? And if I get handles on that, well, maybe we can make it even more interesting, right? Now, what if you want to get rid of the line? Like you want the path, you want to type the letters on the path, but you don't want it to be directly on the line. What we can do is take the stroke away from the line. And now you just have this funky text. You'd want to space out these letters because right now they're a little clunky, but we can do that pretty easily with tracking. So what we'd want to do is track these letters out. And those are just some of the ways that we can use type in InDesign.